Space is so unbelievably large. If you were to count every single grain of sand on all the beaches of Earth, you still wouldn't even come close to the amount of stars in the observable universe. Look up at the night sky on a clear night. For as long as humans have been able to ask, we've stared into that pitch black void and asked the exact same question. Is there anyone else out there? We are completely obsessed with the idea of the extraterrestrial and its possibility for more. We write endless novels about them. We broadcast our radio signals blindly into the dark, and we spend billions of dollars building massive telescopes just to catch a flicker of movement. But if you strip away the sci-fi novelty, our obsession doesn't look as much like curiosity anymore. It's more like desperation. We don't just wonder if aliens exist, we practically need them to. We project our highest hopes onto them and almost always assume they will be smarter and more experienced than us. But why? This could be a number of explanations, one of which is our desire to be a part of something bigger. To reveal the existence of a higher species would be comparable to the discovery of fire, and a step in our extraterrestrial development. The benchmark of this development in the universe is classified by the Kardashev-scale. This is based on the measurement of a civilization's ability to harness energy. After all, you can't really do much of anything without energy. It's the fundamental currency of life. Without it, biological processes cease and modern society collapses. The scale is broken down into 3 types. Type 1 are planetary civilizations. They have the means to harness and store all of their home planet's energy. Type 2 are stellar civilizations. They've evolved to harness all the energy emitted by their star, likely through the means of a Dyson sphere, which is one of the only ways to possibly control that kind of energy within the scope of our current technology. Type 3 are galactic civilizations. They're able to harness an entire galaxy. This technology is closer to that of Star Wars or Star Trek than our current state. For reference, we currently sit at a 0.73 on the Kardashev scale, while most aliens that are depicted in the media are estimated between type 1.5 and 1.8. With the amount of energy we can harness and use, we haven't even reached type 1 yet, and are still quite some time to that point. While these hypothetical civilizations are placed well above type 1, since in order to become interstellar, you'd likely be above the state of our seemingly crude solar and wind farms we have here on Earth. To understand this intense cosmic loneliness, you first have to look at our address. We like to think of Earth as the center of our own universe, but cosmically speaking, we live in the absolute middle of nowhere. Our solar system sits quietly in the arm of the Milky Way, but we aren't in some cosmic city. Astronomers point out that we exist in what's known as a local void, a remarkably empty, quiet, and rural stretch of space, compared to the densely packed, hyperactive star clusters that are closer to the galactic core. And yet we keep throwing messages out into the dark. Think of Voyager 1, launched back in 1977. It carries the golden record, which is fundamentally just a mixtape of humanity. In '77, President Jimmy Carter notably stated the golden record was a present from a small, distant world, a token of our science, our images, our music, and our feelings. We took our music, our greetings in 55 different languages, and etched them onto a piece of metal, dropping it into the ocean of space. Voyager 1 is now billions of miles away, drifting through the interstellar medium. It is a literal message in the bottle. But who are we actually hoping picks it up? This brings us to a strange mathematical contradiction. In 1950, a physicist named Enrico Fermi sat at lunch with his colleagues and asked a deceptively simple question. Where is everybody? This became known as the Fermi paradox. Mathematically, the universe should be absolutely crawling with life. There are billions of stars out there just like our sun, and many of them are billions of years older than ours. Even if the spark of life is incredibly rare, the sheer staggering scale of the universe dictates that we should have heard something by now. But the sky remains silent. If our address in the universe takes the equivalent of hours of driving to get to us, then it's going to be a while before someone takes the back roads to pass us by rather than the interstellar highways near the galactic core. And in that deafening silence, we've idolized these alien life forms. Notice how we rarely imagine extraterrestrials as being less evolved than us. We don't make many movies about stumbling upon a planet covered in space moss or some primitive animals. Instead, we imagine gods. We picture beings who have mastered interstellar travel, who have unlocked the deepest secrets of physics, and who have conquered disease, war, maybe even mortality. We project a perfect version of our own future onto these stars. We treat aliens the way ancient civilizations treated deities, as a higher power that might one day descend from the sky, to either save us from ourselves or punish us for what we've done. Maybe our desperation doesn't come from a place of wonder at all. Perhaps it stems from a much darker subconscious truth. We aren't looking for aliens because we're eager to study alien biology. We're looking for them because we are terrified of what it means if they don't exist. Humanity shares a collective existential dread. The gift of consciousness comes with a burden. The ability to be aware of one's existence, the fact that all things come to an end, and how most things are in a constant state out of our control. If we are truly alone in this vastness, if Earth is the only tiny spark of consciousness in a universe 93 billion light years wide, then our world begins to feel more like being stranded on an island than a home. If there is no one else out there, then there's no backup plan. There is no older, wiser civilization coming to fix our climate, to stop our wars, or to guide us through our technological infancy. Every mistake we make is permanent, and there will be no simple path to our own utopic society. In 1990, at the request of astronomer Carl Sagan, Voyager 1 turned its camera around one final time and took a picture of Earth from nearly 4 billion miles away. It looked like nothing more than a single speck of dust, suspended in a scatter of sunlight. A blue dot floating in space. Sagan famously noted that every king, every peasant, and every war in human history happened right there on that tiny, fragile rock. Our desperate urge to find aliens isn't a sign of weakness or foolishness. Maybe it's just our humanity showing we are a social species, trapped on a lonely rock, calling out to the void, just hoping for a neighbor. And maybe one day we will be the intelligent aliens that reach out to contact other planets and be the face we idolized for centuries.